Hello, fiends, friends, and familiars. This is Matt Orozco from Macabre Daily here, and I am so excited because usually we only have like one other person on this Zoom call. I now have five other people on this Zoom call, and I'm so excited to be joined by the cast and the filmmaker behind the upcoming short film project Total Party Kill, which is currently funding on Indiegogo. I'm going to remind you about that at the end of this conversation so you can go and give them your money so we can make great movies. But just want to introduce the people we have here with us today. We have Alan Poe Sanchez, who's our co-writer, director, producer extraordinaire. We have Fayna Sanchez, who's going to be playing Laura in the film. She also serves as one of our producers. We have Gracie Lacey, who's going to be playing Flynn. And we have Sarah Nicklin, someone who I think folks who've seen our site have certainly seen before. Sarah, nice to have you again as Tracy.
Thank you.
And Christine Celozzi is going to be playing Chloe and also serving as a producer on the film as well. So thank you everyone again for making some time to chat with me tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm humbled with just excitement for this. And so if I stutter or get a little flushed, just know it's because I'm so happy to be here. So as I was, doing a bit of research, what that means is just going on the internet and pressing Google a few times. I noticed that quite a few of you have like overlapped either personally and professionally in your careers and your social lives. So I'm more curious to know, how did you all come together to work on Total Party Kill?
Yeah, it's crazy how small this industry is, especially when it's the genre industry. Like you'd be surprised at how small it is. Everybody buddy knows everyone, and yeah, this it just started from like the story pretty much, and I kind of had the script that had like an amazing cast, and I knew I just really wanted to have a great ensemble to get this going. And luckily, I mean, I have friends like I knew Christine for years, like probably like 2, 3 years now, and we've been wanting to work with each other for so long because we like each other's work, and we're kind of the same person in terms of humor, and from there, like and we kind of collaborated trying to get this formed, and then we brought in from just seeing all these other films, like I seen Fina's work. uh, I was just like, okay, well, we had the same wavelength. Let's collaborate. And she said she was down, and ultimately hopped on right when I pitched her just the log line, just the idea. We didn't have a script yet, and yeah, and then from there I kind of just rounded out people that I kind of knew, and then of all people, like we were at least expecting was Sarah, because like I assumed, like always assumed Sarah's so busy, but I knew Sarah from years ago from like again the festival circuit, and I adored her work on a short film that she did, and yeah, we hung out at another festival, and we kept in touch. But luckily, Fine was just like, no, Sarah would be great for this project. Let's bring her in. And then once she read for it, we were just like, yeah, of course, like just come on in. And it's just kind of well rounded of that of people that we knew, and of friends, or just getting to know each other through the festival circuit, and then people that I already previously worked, like Gracie, who's amazing already, and projects that I've done with them, and Soren, and yeah, it was just like green pulling people in with that, and then kind of doing like wish list uh, uh, casting, which was like with Elise Willems. I've been a fan of Elise for like so long because she's known as like an improv comedian, doing like online skits like with Funhouse, and doing like a sketch show. And so out of nowhere, like just us pulling her in was just a wild like cherry on top. So it's just really exciting to have this ensemble piece, and it worked out too. Uh, one of my dream things was to have an amazing ensemble.
Yeah, and you've got a wonderful ensemble. And I just watched your film, Alan Watcher. Actually, I'm not going to be ashamed of this. I watched it like an hour ago because I'm like, you know what, I need to watch this. So Gracie and Alan, fantastic job in that. Had a blast with
Thank
it, and
you.
I'm definitely gonna be sharing it with folks because I think short films just don't get enough attention these days. But I'm hopeful that they're kind of seeing a bit more life just because there's so much activity at the festival circuit and so much opportunity comes from shorts into features. And I'm curious to know, Alan, as you're writing the story, what was the inspiration? Because I'm not a big TTRPG guy player myself because I just didn't have a lot of friends when I was younger.
Mhm.
But like now that I'm older, I'm like, man, I wish I could like find some people that will just nerd the hell out with me. So
Yeah, fun fact is like when I was writing this, every story that I write tends to be during a time when I'm unemployed. So it was during the time when I was unemployed, had nothing to do, just in between job hunting. I was just kind of brainstorming an idea to kind of be in a singular location because Watcher was very expensive to make, and and so I'm still kind of recovering from it. So I was like, no, I still need to make something. I need to follow up with this, but also try to contain the budget a little bit by keeping it in one spot. And at the time, in between job hunting, I was watching a lot of TTRPG content from like Dimension 20, Critical Role, Dungeons and Daddies, just a bunch of that stuff. And I never played a game of D&D in my life or any TTRPG, just normal board games, but never any t-shirt. But it just caught my eye, and I was just like, wait, this is what I used to do as a kid, just doing my imagination, and but with this time with just numbers and rolls, and I even as a gamer, like playing RPG games was like that's the closest I've ever done. So it kind of dawned on me. I was like, okay, it'd be cool to do something maybe around this, but because we've seen stuff with like D&D and TTRPG games in film, but we never seen a whole story revolving around it, and it
Right.
just caught my eye to be like, okay, what way can we, in my weird way, because I tend to be as a writer, tend to distort things. Um, and so it became this whole thing of being like, what if we made this into a really fucked up horror movie and just go bonkers? Because that's an itch I've been wanting to touch is like, I haven't got a chance to go crazy in terms of like having fun with the story or do anything like crazy bonkers. Everything I've done has been kind of leveled in reality in a weird way. But I was like, no, I really want to have fun with this one and go full balls to the wall comedy and with the horror with it. And this kind of was the right realm to do it. And I saw from there, I kind of did my research of like how to play TTRPG games. And that's when I brought in Michael Smallwood to co-write with me on this thing and also call me out of my bullshit. He's a DM at heart. So he's just like, yo, that ain't right. Let me fix this. Let me fix the numbers or the rules. And actually add his humor, and then that became like the first draft, and that's the one ultimately everyone was able to read. Nobody's read my rough draft version, and it will stay that way. But
Fair.
yeah, that's how it came, was just from my unemployment time, researching, watching a lot of TTRPG content, and that having that curiosity of like wanting to play it but not being able to as an adult. So
Yeah, I get that. I mean, maybe you could do a perk where like for 30, for 4,000, you get the rough draft script and only one eyes only.
yeah,
Um, but I was a Magic the Gathering player a long time ago.
That's me.
I
I
know
still play Magic.
I know, and I'm really jealous. I see your posts sometimes like, oh my goodness, that looks like so much fun. But I was so bad at it that I'm like, oh my, like something with my brain is not great with the strategy. But for the rest of you, like, what is your all's experience with tabletop role playing games? So it's like Fayna, let's go Fayna, Christine, Gracie, and Sarah.
I'm horrible. Like I'm with you, Matt. Like I can't keep up. Like I'm not good at it. I don't know, call it ADD. I don't know. I can't sit still for that long. So I've always been really, really bad. So when Alan kind of came to me, I was like, I can bring comedy and stuff, but I don't know anything about the game itself. I'm awful at like video games. I'm awful at like all of that. But I feel like that's just gonna help. It's gonna help with the comedy, being bad at a game.
Always.
Yeah.
What about you, Christine?
I play a lot of board games and I play a lot of sports, but TTRG, what is it?
It's
TTRPG game.
TTMNT, right? We're making a
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I am a virgin too. Like this is a whole new world for me. So yeah, I'm very new. I'm very green.
Ooh. All right. What about you, Gracie?
My best friend Thomas, who actually helped Alan out, gave me my first set of dice, and we played Dungeons and Dragons, and it's super fun. I think my mind is too in the gutter to play because I was like, and then they bang like every 5 seconds, and then I'd roll for it and be like, okay, what comes if I get a five? What is that? I don't. I'm just my brain is so trash, but I I love gaming. I just got a PS5 too, so I'm all up in the video game world, and I love RPG games too.
Well, I played Avowed, so huge fan of huge fan of the game, and congrats on the work you did in there because
Thank
I'm having
you.
a blast with it. And Sarah, I know you're going to pick up the lead here and tell us about your expertise here, because I think you might be the maestro of the dice here.
I mean, I play Magic.
Right.
So I have a group I play Magic with once a month or so. I haven't played D&D. I would like to, like you were saying, like everyone always says like I think I would like it quite a bit. Because I really like the strategy and just the structure, but I also I've done LARPing before too, which I did not like at all. So, so
I don't even know what that is. That sounds like dirty. Like I'm with you, Gracie. My head goes like, what's that?
live action role play. It's where you go
Yeah.
out in the woods and you have like swords and you hit each other for specific types of damage.
Have you seen Role Models with Sean William Scott, where like he's like that's the thing that his like kid is really into is LARPing.
Yeah. So
But they
I like Magic because it's just like the combat damage and it's like it's very structured and you know exactly what has to happen and what all the different phases are. So I like having a structured environment that I can play in, whereas I feel like LARPing is just too all over the place.
So, no joke, I found out about, I'm based here in Cleveland, Ohio, and there's a group that was like recruiting for people that do like LARPing, but with real weapons. And they're not like sharp, but they're like metal. And so you have to get trained and certified. And I'm like, a part of me was like, you know what? How much do I want to feel alive right now?
I
Like
mean,
I've gotten tattoos, I've been hurt before, I've broken things, but like, do I want to actually get into a real medieval fight here? I'm not sure.
I
Yes.
feel like you should go learn like sword fighting, which I've done, which is fun. And that takes the danger out of it because you don't know what the other people are going to do. That's the problem.
True, true.
At least if it's a class, like there's some predictability there.
I'll just show up and like be the person like, oh, who's this new guy? And then just start sweeping legs and proverbial arms taking them out. But yeah, I wish I could play. I tried and when the pandemic started, I was with a work group and we were like, oh, well, like bunch of people play D&D. We're like, well, let's do this virtually. And I'm like you, Gracie. I don't know how to like play by the rules. So I'm like, oh, well, I have to roll a perception. I'm just looking under the sheet. Like, what is this? All right, fine, 4. They're like, no, you have to roll. So yeah, I get a little caught up in the excitement of the story, so not as much as the
Yeah.
details. But curious to know more about your characters that you all are playing. So, Christine, what can you tell us more about Chloe?
Alan wrote Chloe to be a version of myself. So it's like I can tell you everything about a character that is nothing like me. It's so easy, but when it comes to playing a character that's like myself, I just have to let it come off the paper and come out of my mouth. And I can't tell you a lot because I feel like I'm different people on different days. I have ADHD, so like being different people on different days, like I know this is a version of me that Alan wrote, and putting that under a microscope and being like, Jesus Christ, this is how Alan sees me is fun.
Hey, listen, we us neurospicy folk have it going on, all right? I just need a distraction in my hands at all times, or else I'm going off topic. But Sarah, why don't you
Yep.
tell us a little bit about Tracy?
Tracy is she's the type of character that I don't really like to play with because she's kind of like the like extra on top of like rules and is going to give you like a hard time if you're messing them up.
Hmm.
Which yeah, I don't like to play with those people because I just want to have fun, but I know exactly what that person is. So yeah, that's what Tracy is. Gives Gracie some shit for being the newbie and yeah, that sort of stuff.
So Gracie, like as Flynn, how's your newbie going to show up in the film?
Yeah, Flynn is such a fun character. Yeah, Flynn knows absolutely nothing about the world that they're in. They don't know the rules, they don't know how to play, but they want to play. And when people start, I don't know how much I can say, but when people start meeting their bitter ends, Flynn's like freaking out at first and then realizes that they have to do something to help. And then somehow has this powerful. I don't want to give anything away because I want everybody to watch it, but like, yeah, it's a fun little arc to play with Flynn going from somebody who's just like naive to then somebody who's like, no, wait, like I'm strong, like I can do this, like I can help.
I feel like that's the hero's journey of most RPG players is like, what am I doing? And then all of a sudden, oh, I figured it out. And Fayna, to round it out with you, what can we expect from Laura?
Yeah, I feel like Alan might have had me in mind when this is like a alter ego version of myself, this like kind of punk rock angry yeller playing with a switchblade. I definitely don't want to give anything away, but I get to do something physically that I have always wanted to do. So I am very excited to get to do this particular thing that I'm not going to say, but all of you are going to want to see.
Well, see, this you can make someone's dream come true, people, if we just get the money and fund this thing. So, you
Wait,
can.
hold on. Can we go back to that? Fine, you've always wanted to do that. Sorry, I had
Yeah,
to
have you
pause there and
not?
be
Have
like,
you not? Is that weird?
I haven't, I mean, reading it, it's great, but I don't think I've sat there and been like, yeah, I wish I could do that.
I
Oh,
mean,
it took me
without giving
15
it
years
away,
again.
it'll be a little ode to Evil Dead, which is like one of my favorite movies. It's just one of my favorite movies. So it's gonna be my little ode to Evil Dead, and I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well, you said the magic words Evil Dead, and I think that should get every genre
Yeah,
fan's ears perking up,
yeah.
because that's just like catnip to us. Um, so Alan, this one's over to you. I was super excited to read a little bit about just kind of the description of the inspirations you're going for. You threw some heavy hitters in there, like the Evil Dead, Talk to Me, which is obviously they got new Philippou Brothers coming out, which looks insane. And then Ready or Not, which is of course got so much fun inversions of genre that we've seen before, but done in just a fun and kind of more modern way. So, how are you going to combine those into something to like what will that look like without going too much spoilers, as far as tone and even on the practical effects side? Because I know you're really passionate about bringing that into this as well.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. As a writer, if like even if you've seen like Watcher, like I tend to be a Frankenstein writer. I take things of like tones that I love and just I'm like these don't make sense.
Love it.
And so uh going into the tone of like total party kill, I wanted it to be the opposite. I was like, okay, I want this to be a little bit more fun. So I knew I wanted to go in the realm of like Evil Dead 2 realm, where this has that humor, that little weird, crazy, zany side of Sam Raimi, and kind of blend in kind of that witty dialogue humor that's in Talk to Me, that's also in Ready or Not, and kind of had that blend of just that it's not kind of like self-referential, but just that witty, just fast dialogue, maybe kind of like Edgar Wright a little bit.
Mm.
But my ultimate like my I kind of want to fuse all those films, but ultimately kind of in a way have my biggest inspiration a part of it, which is Wes Craven, which is his writings. Is one of my biggest influences on there. So it's kind of like all those movies if Wes Craven did it. So that was like kind of the way I kind of wanted to do it, like have really strong characters, not just when I was telling one of my was it, at least when I was pitching this idea, I was like they're not just going to be body bags; they're actually characters you like. So when they go down, you're like, oh shit, I like them. No. So it's kind of like adding, but also it's not going to be like devastating. Like it has some heart, but it also just it's all about that witty dialogue and the humor of them being in the situation, them playing it straight. They're not really winking at the screen. It's like it's just the way we're trying to do it is like it's very done straight, and so it's just and the way those movies are done, they're doing it very like as if they're in the situation.
Yeah.
And so that's what I wanted to fuse into the writing was like that witty dialogue, the humor, along with the gore and the horror with it, and to scare the audience too. It is there's a bunch of scares in there too. It's not just heavy on the humor, but yeah, it has that good blend of it.
Laughter and horror are like, bed cousins, right? They're right there next to each other. So they go perfectly together, with a nice, glass of wine or non-alcoholic drink, whatever you prefer. But I love that you said kind of Wes Craven's approach to all those things, because one thing that Wes Craven, I personally think did so well, he knows how to write people. And you have such a great collection of actors here who have just through this conversation have shown an amazing amount of personality. So I can only imagine how that's going to show up on the screen in the script. And I know you're funding this for a short, and there is a teasing potential of feature. Obviously it would be every filmmaker I think wants to go that route at some point and with their films. But first on the front end, how long the short will be, and then the second part is like if it does move to feature, do you have something already in mind to expand the story, or is that going to be kind of like, we're going to get there when we get there?
Oh yeah, of course. Every single thing I write is always imagined as a feature. Um, like I tend to think of all my shorts as proof of concepts, no matter what they are. I always have kind of an outline of a feature there. But I was just like, what if? But the short is kind of just a companion piece, in my opinion. It's like it's missing some more of the bones that would make a feature, but it's all meaty in there. It's nice and very steaky, just cut nice and there. But yeah, the short we're aiming at right now, it's looking like close to like maybe 18 to 20 minutes, depending on how, tension, how everything the tension builds. I like to build it. I don't want to take it to be like, oh yeah, it's a jump scare. No, we're building that shit. We're here to scare the shit out of you and make you laugh. Um, but yeah, it's about 20 minutes. But yeah, I already have been kind of brainstorming the feature version. I was talking to Michael a couple days ago, and we were talking about the feature version a little bit. And yeah, like the goal is like to get this going, to see how people recept it, and to me, like I feel this is like a great first feature to make because it's just a simple concept. It's in one location, very budget friendly. We're not going to be doing anything crazy that would. Well, we want to go crazy, but you know what I mean.
Right.
We're not going to go to the woods and spend like $50,000 to just rent the woods. We'll just go to a living room and shoot there. But yeah, like that's the goal, is to ultimately convert this into a feature. And yeah, it's already kind of laid out. I kind of already have a gist of where I want to go with it, and more body bags a little bit, and more deaths, more people in it. And that's the best I can say, is like that's the most I will say about it. But it is there.
Love it. I mean, budget friendly, single location, great cast. I mean, come on. What producers should be lining up for this thing at this point. So people, come on, get your wallets out, pull on your uncle's purse strings, whoever you got to whoever your sugar daddies or mamas are. Um, so this is gonna be like a fun question. I hope. I don't know if you can tell me if it's not, but if you were gonna be your own TTRPG character, what character would you think you'd be? So I'll start with you, Christine, then we'll go to Gracie, Sarah, Fayna, and then round it out with Alan.
Can I say a werewolf? I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could say like a store associate clerk if you're like, that's what I've always wanted to be. I mean, it's role playing. You
Oh,
can role play whatever you want.
it can be like anything. I would be a vampire, hands
Like
down.
modern vampire, periodic vampire, like Lestat, or more like Nosferatu.
I'd want to be like Lestat, where I am like sophisticated, but I'm living in modern day. And I just, I have all this money and I don't know what to do with it, and I'm kind of bored. So I just, float around trying to find fun things to do.
Oh, I'd love that too, just without the vampire stuff.
Me too.
And I totally forgot the order I said everything in, so I'm just gonna make it up again. So Sarah, let's go to you.
I think so. I'm just gonna go. So my magic deck is it's a demon spider deck with death touch. So I think a demon spider would be a really cool way to go
Yeah.
because they're terrifying. Spiders are terrifying, and they have lots of different really cool abilities. They can sneak up on you. They can be very, very deadly, and they have 8 legs.
Yeah.
Like
Nothing
so,
needs 8 legs. I've always
so
said that. Like that's just
yeah.
like six too many. So Gracie, what character you be?
I think I would probably I designed a character when I started playing Baldur's Gate 3 that I like adored, but I would want it to be so I went with the druid, but I would want to be like an elf druid, like a fairy elf druid, like so I could like do spells but also still have wings so I could like fly around everywhere and like yeah, I feel like that would be cool.
And the thing is, you can do that in Baldur's Gate 3. Like you can be whatever you want to be. And the world
Yeah.
adapts. Final,
Yeah.
what about you?
Oh, I don't know. My head goes to like I've always wanted to be a werewolf, but like I don't know, like I also want to be a witch. I want to fly. I would
Could be
like so
both.
like a shape-shifting flying witch.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
all of them.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
be that. I mean, again, it's role playing. We can be whatever we think we can be.
Yeah.
And Alan, what are you going for? You've got a lot of really interesting, like creative, castmates here. So what are you cooking up in your character?
Okay, you know that meme of the guy that's wearing the Chuck E. Cheese mascot costume? He's having a cigarette in the back.
Yeah.
I would be the medieval version of that, just having a person dressed up as something as outlandish as that, but just smoking a cigarette with that, just giving people existential dread, just like with that we my special power. It's like
Like
you don't know, man. The world's gonna end soon. It's just,
The Chuck E. Cheese harbinger.
yeah, just pretty much.
Don't
Dude,
go
I
in
thought
that.
you were
Don't go in
gonna
that
say
pizza
I'd
place,
like to be
man.
the cigarette.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
smoking existential dread. Like that was me yesterday.
I mean, this would be a really interesting party to get going, by the way, if we just had like a vampire, demon, spiders, fairy, we have like fairy druids, werewolf witches, and just, the Ben Affleck and a Chuck E. Cheese meme of just out there just telling everyone, don't do it, man. It's not worth it. No matter how big the ring is. So that's all the questions I got for you all, but I just want to remind everybody that's watching this because you must have made it this far because this is one of the most entertaining conversations I've had this week and probably will have for a while. But you can help fund Total Party Kill today on Indiegogo. We're going to put a link in the description of the video. We're also going to put it on our site. I'm going to put it in our Instagram profile as well so people can get there even faster. And it closes on April 18th, so you have a little bit of time, but as they say, procrastination is masturbation. So just don't do it. Keep going. Do it now. Don't delay. And hopefully we can see what the dice roll comes when this gets funded because I cannot wait to see what you all are cooking up. So thank you all for making this time, but also everyone that donates, please go ahead and do so as soon as possible. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Matt.
so
Thank you,
much.
Tracy.
Thank you.
So much, Matt.